Are you ready to take your book marketing to the next level? With the incredible BookBrush tools, you can create eye-catching graphics, professional-looking ads that will take your social media presence, your book covers, and more to a whole new level. I'm going to just talk a little bit about our speaker today. Kathleen Sweeney has kindly agreed to come and chat with us. She has over 20 years of marketing experience. She is the manager of marketing and customer service at BookBrush, and she has presented how-to sessions for over 250 author groups, just like ours. So she enjoys working with authors, and we are so grateful to have her here today. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for joining us.
I am super excited to be here. I love showing off the BookBrush tools, so this is a perfect way to spend lunch today.
Good, good. Well, tell us a little bit about your background before we jump right into the tool and some of the things that you're going to be showing us today.
Absolutely. So combine my background with the BookBrush background. So we developed BookBrush and launched it about 4 years ago and started with just a graphics option and then added the ability to design covers and all kinds of things. And I'm coming at this from the perspective of I love to read. So my joy is that I get to work with authors all the time and show you how to market your books and make that part easy so you can keep writing lots of books and I can keep reading. So feels like a pretty good partnership, and being in the author niche is just awesome for me.
Oh, I love that. That sounds wonderful. Well, we are so glad to have you here. And I know you have some things prepared for us to kind of give an overview, since everybody that responded in the chat said that they had never heard of BookBrush. You've got a captive audience here that is looking for tools to be able to make their social media marketing easier. And many of them are very comfortable and very familiar with Canva. So we'd love to have you kind of walk us through the tool. Tell us about what its best features are and how it can help us really level up our social media and advertising and all the fun things that we need to do to get more eyeballs on our books.
Right. That's the goal, right? Sell more books. So I'm going to jump in. I'll do a lot of this with screen sharing. So we'll look at the BookBrush platform. It's an online platform, bookbrush.com. So this is our main page here, and where it says choose a tool to begin, I'm going to start at the very beginning, gauging that since we had a lot of folks who said they were brand new to BookBrush, I think that'll be a nice place to start. We will go into right here where it says custom creator, and we'll talk about the custom creator. This is our flagship tool. It's the first thing we built, and possibly the most universal, because you can create graphics for a wide variety of social media platforms, either using community templates or from scratch. So both of those feel like a good fit for authors in different places in their writing journey. And if you've used up all your creativity writing, we are here for you with a lot of great options for your book marketing. So I think we'll start with community templates. This is a gold mine. And I want to mention that if you're new to BookBrush and haven't signed up for anything yet, we have a free plan, and these community templates would be available to you. You can create and download 15 images for free. So that's a great little start to flood social media. I'm going to click over here on the left on community templates, and we'll talk about what's in here. So because there's so many different parts of social media and different platforms and things, we have sized out what you need. So if you're like, well, I need an Instagram photo, you don't have to go out and Google, what size do I need? We have those things in here for you. So you can click on this platform section, and you'll see we have things under Facebook ad, for example. Those are typically the horizontal size here. And all of these are put together by a graphic design team. And I'll click next. And all you have to do is click and put your book in. I'll click one and I'll show you how easy it is to get from point A, I saw it, to point B, I'm ready to download. So we'll click on this one here. It's third one down in the center. And it says, want to read chapter 1 for free. So if you liked this graphic, and these are all just a starting point. So remember, you can personalize however you like. You can click on the book cover goes here. And then in the top stripe, it says swap covers. Or there's a little lightning bolt in the lower left corner. Either way, you're going to swap, and it's going to take you to the covers you already have in here, or if you're brand new, you'll just upload your cover. It's a front 2D cover, so it's nice and easy. And then you can just click the book cover. When you see the spinning, it means the magic is happening here in Book Brush land. And then it's in the image, and you can go up to the top and click download and download as a PNG, a JPEG, or even a PDF. So it's that easy. But if you want to change this, so we can click on the text and we can ask a different question. Grab this new sci-fi book today. And so you can change that. If you want the download now on there, you can leave it. You could also use the garbage can to delete. And then I'm going to talk about font just a little bit. So we're kind of font nerds over here. We want to make sure that you have fonts that give off the right vibe for your genre. So I'm going to click over to one of our blog posts, and I'm going to share this in the chat so it's part of everything. All recorded for history. So here we go. If you're creating graphics, it's really nice to make sure that if you don't already have a branded font, that you're using a font that gives off the right vibe. So these can help you. So they're organized by genre, fantasy font pairings, historical, holiday, horror, literary fiction, and so on. So there are a lot of choices in here. And if you scroll to the bottom, it links to another blog post with font pairing. So you can nerd out about fonts if you want to and join me in my nerdiness. And then what you'll do is just click your text box. And I already know one that is kind of a sci-fi font, this Orbitron.
Oh,
Make
wow.
it larger. That just gives a different vibe. And so now when your readers, potential readers, see this ad, it's giving off that right kind of vibe for them. You could also take your background and click over on the left to the background step. Now in the background step, it searches millions of free images from Pixabay, or you can even upload your own. But like if we type in outer space, there will be oodles of choices in here. So we could drop something completely different in, and then actually I'm going to double click and we'll flip it so we get that cool starburst. And then with the text, we'll just change that. I'm going to use the color picker. I want to cram in as many really cool hidden gems here as we can. So there's a color picker. Anytime you're choosing a color, you can click on this eyedropper and bring it over, and it will automatically match whatever color is in the center, even if you don't know the color code. So I'll get that orange color. And it helps you stay on brand for your graphics. So we really love the color picker. And then we could just check, do we want to flip this background back and forth and pick how you want it to look? And then download from there. From where we started, this looks completely different. Now we are going sci-fi, and it can help your readers gravitate towards that book, but you didn't start with this blank rectangle where you're like so overwhelmed and not sure what to put in there. So that's creating graphics with a community template. We would suggest you save your changes here. So click save in the top stripe and save it in there. That way, if you have another book, you could come in the next day, pop that book cover in and create an additional graphic. Another nice tip here is this is horizontal for Facebook. A lot of authors want to put the same graphics across social media on different platforms, which means different sizes. So you can click back to add size on the left, choose, let's say Instagram. We'll choose the square. And now don't panic. Everything's here. We're going to use what I call the eyeball icon here in the lower right. So you can see what's out there. We'll resize each of the items here. Put these in here, and this text will reduce. And so you're going to have a coordinating graphic that stays on brand for you, but you didn't have to start from scratch. So here's your next one. So when people see it, they will recognize that because you were using all the same elements, and then you could save that one as well. And in this case, I'm going to save it as a new project there too. So that is a little overview of community templates.
Just one comment from me is I am not very good with creativity and graphic design. So the fact that you have these templates, would you mind just kind of showing these templates again?
Oh, sure.
Just to see like the breadth of templates that you have. That just really excites me because I am so bad at it. When I try to create my graphic design, I forget it. Put me in front of a computer for programming or technical stuff, and I'm great.
This is the thing. Everybody has different skill sets, and this is why the world is wonderful. And so we can help you look like a savvy design guru just by using these. So I'll click back on the left to add size, and we'll click on those community templates, and we can peep a lot more. So we were looking at Facebook ads here. I'll go to another screen. Lots of different choices. I also want to talk about, like, let's say you want these square ads. And here's a little secret. Facebook square ads and Instagram photos are actually the same size. They're both 1080 by 1080, but we have them categorized as both. But you can see all these different things in here. And what's nice is, in BookBrush, because there's a lot of nice design tools out there. We mentioned Canva at the beginning, but they're not all designed specifically for authors. Every single thing in BookBrush is author related. So every time you turn around, you're going to see something that speaks to authors or that would be handy for authors. When you're looking at all of these book templates, we have almost 300 3D versions. So if you like one of these, we'll click on this one. Say you like this, but you would prefer a different book template. You can just use the garbage can to delete that and click over here on the left to book template. And I'm pretty sure the technical term here is oodles. There are oodles of books in here for you because there's a lot you can filter too. So you could choose physical book, and I'll scroll. They're displayed with a sample front cover. And so you're just going to pop your front cover into that. Ebooks. Now the ebooks are positioned so that they face every which way. Whereas you'll notice the physical books for the most part are positioned so you don't see the spine. We want this to be super easy process. You just bring in your 2D cover. There are spine options, but for the most part, the front, it really does the trick. We have phone options in here. And some of them are going to obviously be double tagged. So we have a section with hands, which means hands are attached. If it's a phone with a hand, you'll find it in the phone category, and then you'll also find it in the hands category. And the hands are nice because it can just kind of help you make things look kind of cool. So I'll click one with a hand, and we'll click a book cover here. And again, the magic is happening in here. Now, remember, if you have a hand, you need to give it somewhere to land, unless your book is maybe about aliens, and then that may be fine. But like I would take this wrist here. We want to make sure it's off to the side, and you can use these arrows to layer so we could send it behind the text, or we could just rearrange the text because you're in charge. And then it looks like that. So that's way different than the ebook or the e-reader that was in there to begin with, but it just kind of changes things up. And then what I might suggest here, I'm a big fan of this color picker. So it's not that it clashes, but you could use that and then match a little bit more to this exact blue. We'll watch it again. So there's lots of different colors in here. So it can help you personalize. So, and I would maybe reduce that. I could sit here and fiddle for quite a while, but I would change that a little bit. And then it's specifically on brand for you and your graphic in your book cover. There's another look at those. We'll go back in because there's just so much. You can navigate to community templates here by clicking add size and go into community templates, or on the left, you can also click templates and projects and go into community templates. We have a section called BookBub ads. Let's see if we just click just those. And you may know this, actually, I think it's remembering the last things I had clicked. BookBub ads are tiny. They're 300 by 250 pixels. So if you like one of those, you'll want to use it just for BookBub or change the size because it can tend to look blurry and pixelated on other platforms. And then I'll just highlight a few different things. So social networks, for example, if you're trying to drive people to different places, we have some suggestions and ideas in here. And remember, everything is completely editable, so you can change it to your branded colors and fonts and things like that. Newsletter. And some of these are about your newsletter, like driving them there or talking about different things, advertising your newsletter. And then we will come down here. I'll skip down to email header. So now once you've reeled them into your newsletter, you want to make it stand out. So you can try these email headers. One of our favorite tips here is you could click on one. I'll choose this one in the lower right. And you could actually change this to July. And then you need to move your dots there, ellipsis a little bit. So go ahead and save this as a project. And then next month, all you have to do is change it to August and again in September. So it's a nice time saver and it stays on brand for you. So that would be a really good way to make your emails look really nice, but not take up tons of time. Go back in and look at some more items in here.
Really nice. I love the thought that's gone into this. I see ARC team, street team.
Yeah, I'll click on more things too, business cards. So you could use these, and some people use them for like the code to hand out like a free download code. So that's another way to use those. ARC team. And if you're joining us on the free plan, these are all available for free. So you can try them all out. You have those 15 downloads. When you play with them and edit and save, that doesn't count until you actually click download. So you can try lots of things and see, and you won't spend a credit, if you will, until you actually download the image. And there are bookmark options. With things like bookmarks and coasters, you would design it all in here, download the image, and then either print them at home or send them to a printer. So we don't do the printing part, but we help you with the design and things like that. I go to Kindle Vella, and you'll have to let me know if anybody is doing Kindle Vella. It's a little bit different with the story episode format. While you're experimenting with that, you can also do some nice marketing graphics to help drive people there. The thing that's different about Kindle Vella is they ask for a square story image, which they display as a circle. So all of the options in here, and we'll click that and go back over to book template. If you went to Kindle Vella, you can see all the different choices. So if you like the silver phone or the other types of phones, or you want one with a hand, you could substitute that and put it in there. Also, lots of cover reveals. So if you like all of these different things, but you wanted to have it as a cover reveal option, tons of cool things in cover reveal. So we have a whole section here called Launch Party. And so there's cover reveal options and suggestions, countdown graphics. On a paid plan, you have unlimited downloads. So something like this would be ideal to download as 5, download as 4, download as 3. So you can get that excitement going on social media, and that's just going to take just like a couple clicks down, and you'd have them all set. Go out if you're a scheduler, schedule them on your social media, and then you keep that excitement rolling. All right, let's go back in and look at more community templates. I'm going to scroll through the Launch Party just a little bit more here. So when you're choosing these categories, you can see at the bottom, and it's probably kind of fine print for you. This is showing 1 of 20 of 260. So in Launch Party, we have 260 in here, and you can edit any of these. We call these affectionately call them the adorably flirty arrows around here. And you can put these arrows in. You can rotate them and change them, color pick them. These graphics where they're calling out all these different tropes are super popular because that's what people are looking for. Do they want to read things about Irish witches or the Cold War era or family curses? Put those things on there. I can't even take credit for the coining of the term adorably flirty arrows, but I do love that idea. You'll find those down on the left on elements. We have a whole section here called arrows. So you can use the ones that are there or add some different ones if you like a different look. And then these also do color pickers. So let's say the book cover was in here, we wanted it to match this. You can have it do that. And then of course you can resize and twirl them around and do fun things in there. We feel like it's not a steep learning curve. Of course, like with anything, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. So I'm going to navigate in the upper left corner to home. And I'll tell you, if you're ever lost, go home. In general, that's probably good advice. So in here, you can go down on the left-hand side to webinars. And what we do is have these pre-recorded. So you don't have to wait for me and when I'm available. Each of these tools, we were just in the Custom Creator. So you can watch a recording of Custom Creator 101 whenever you want to and watch and rewatch it, however much time you need. So that is a really handy way to learn more. Then we also host a monthly Book Brush 101. The next one's coming up next Thursday. So I'm going to just paste this in here too, if anybody wants to come join me for that one.
And I'm seeing things like animation and video effects and instant mock-ups, like that just kind of shows us the breadth of what this tool can do. That's
absolutely.
amazing.
And I'm going to send you one other place as well in our YouTube channel. So we have a pretty robust YouTube channel. We just hit 100,000 views. So for us, that's a lot. So we're pretty excited about that. But this is another great place for you to get little bite-sized tips. So these are ranging from like 2 to 5 minutes. And there's one that we did here 2 weeks ago, how to create an email header. So in just a couple minutes, you can walk through those different things. And we try to take it in a manageable amount so you didn't just bite off a whole hour webinar. Like, I'd like to know about the cover reveals. Good. Give us 4 minutes. And you can look through those. So this is another place that I think you'll find a lot of handy information and tips and tricks. Go back to the home screen here. So I'm going to go back into Custom Creator. That's the tool that we were just in here. And if you want to create things for Atticus from scratch, we have all these different icons over here on the left. The Atticus pup is right here. If you click that, you'll see the different choices. So Atticus is a totally separate book formatting tool. We're the fun graphics people. So what you can do in here are the things like the ornamental page breaks or the image elements, the chapter art, things like that. So for example, if you want an ornamental page break, these are the sizes that Atticus needs. You can create something like that in BookBrush and then upload it in Atticus. So that is from scratch. In Community Templates, under Platform, if we scroll down, there is a section for Atticus here too. And these are ones that we started for you. So like if you want the chapter art up here, you can modify this however you want to, and then download. Now, one thing that's kind of neat, if you have a paid plan and you have unlimited downloads, sometimes you can show things like the passage of time. So for example, you could do something with an airplane and download that, then scoot it over just the tiniest bit and then download that. So each chapter shows it going along, if that makes sense. I'll just show you kind of an example here. We'll search airplane. I'm sure there's plenty of other things that would be kind of along those lines. We'll take out this here. So you can always just remove things with a garbage can. And I'll make this larger, and I unwittingly added 2. So we'll just delete that. So this could even be bigger or smaller or whatever, but let's say we add this in and download. Now I'm going to click it and just use the arrow key, 2 tiny arrow shifts, download again, 2 more. So it's subtle, but as finally as the book goes along, by the end, whew, maybe it's way over here. So that can be a cool way to show events passing in time and things like that with your graphics that you make in here. Or trees, probably showing their leaves and things like that. I'm trying to think of what else passes time that's like graphics wise. There's tons of things. You guys wrote the book, so you'll have better ideas on that than I did. In the ad size, like if you want to do double page, so you would pick, or single page, either one of these. So if this is the trim size, so you're going to pick this out. And maybe you want trees and stuff over here. So this would probably be a one-time thing because it's the 2-page bleed. What's nice about this with the green lines, it shows you how it's going to download. So you are actually going to make this as one so that when they open the book, it flows nicely. But in Atticus, you need 2 images. You're going to upload them to this page and to this page. So this downloads as 2, but you design it as 1, which makes it a really nice way to have it. Like, let's say our airplane was really jumbo. It could work that way. So you could still have some things and add some clouds or whatever on the left and then have it go across. And then there's options for double page or double page with bleed. So no matter what you're doing, it will help you. You know, the formatting is more on their side, but we partnered with them to get all of this technical stuff in there for you. Awesome. So while I'm talking about graphics that download, that you design as one and download separately, I thought we might jump into a little bit of Amazon A+ content. I'll step back just in case anybody's not so familiar with the Amazon A+, and maybe folks are, but just a couple summers ago, Amazon gave access to folks who have access to their own KDP dashboard to add images to the From the Publisher section. And one of the most popular is this 3 stacked image. So we'll click on that. People love this. The thing is that when it first came out, people were scrambling, like, how can I get these 3 images so they line up really nicely, but I have the 3 that I need to take over and upload into Amazon. So we came up with a solution. Again, you'll design the whole thing together, but it's going to download as 3. So I'll go into the background step on the left, and let's look for a couple as an example. Let's try these 2 lovebirds here. So if I made this larger and positioned it in here, this is going to download as 3 images, and then you can take them over and upload them on your Amazon page. Now you can also add text and things here in BookBrush. I suggest that because then you're in control of where it goes. If you do the text over in Amazon, you type in the text or you provide the text, but you don't get to decide the placement, as far as my understanding. I don't have a book. Does that
that's
sound
right? Yep, that's
okay? Good.
right.
So we would suggest, because that way, let's add a text box. So I'll click text on the left, add a new text box. And then I'm going to pick a romance font here. So I happen to know, because I studied up on the blog post, that Montserrat is one. Now, if it word wraps, you can just make it larger like that. And then a nice little tip. If you want more than one, you can add the plus button, click that, and it will duplicate it for you. A couple things that are neat here is you can stack them for more depth, or we could use that to change it in the city. I'm just making this up, but let's say we wanted that to coordinate, but be just a little bit smaller underneath, and place it like that. So then you can have your text. If you're adding book templates, I know a lot of people like to add their books on the 3rd module. You can go to book template on the left, and you can add as many of those as you want. So let's say we'll add one here. And April, I know you know a lot about Amazon A+, so anything you want to throw in here, feel free. Now, what sometimes people do is they'll show all the books in a series. So you could use this plus button to add another one, and then you could swap out the covers. The nice part about that is this module could be on the bottom of all the books in the series. So no matter what page they land on Amazon, all of a sudden they realize, oh, there are 5 books and I want to read them all. So that can, potentially help you sell more books. And that's what we're here for. While we're talking about Amazon A+, just as another idea, we also launched, and I wanted to make sure to talk about this, a VA service where we can do things for you. And our top seller over there is Amazon A+. And so I was going to show you some examples that we've done there. So if you really, really want Amazon A+, and it's a great place to showcase yourself on your Amazon page, but you don't feel like it's in your wheelhouse maybe to do so, I'm going to show you our Hourly Concepts page here too. So Hourly Concepts is a completely different setup where you're not doing the do-it-yourself side of things with BookBrush, but you're delegating the tasks to us that do not bring you joy or stress you out, and you just want somebody else to do. So this is a format where you would do, say, a 5-hour plan for the month, and then you have 5 hours of design time, and you pick the projects. So I just want to show you in the portfolio here how amazing some of this Amazon A+ is turning out. So here are examples that our team has done.
Mm-hmm.
You fill out a form and tell us the things that you want and provide the wording and things like that. But there's a lot of really neat stuff in here. This is a different one where there are 3 quote boxes in the middle, and you can request that kind of thing. And that can be powerful with the testimonials and things like that. This is an example with the 5 books in the series on the bottom. So we personalize the top 2 modules for each book. So this happens to be book 5 in the row on the right. That one's green. Each one of these books has its own module that color coordinates. So it ties it all together, and it looks really neat out on Amazon. I'll show you a couple other ones here. Oh, it went the wrong way. Here, I wanted to get to this. There's also an option for 4, and the bottom has 3 quote boxes. So you're stacking 4, and then you still get the benefit of those 3, but then the testimonial type quotes and things like that are pretty cool at the bottom as well. So there's that for you. I can put that in the chat too. And then we will scoot back over into BookBrush itself and look at a couple other things in here. So I'm going to go back to home in the upper left. We'll go to home. And really, as we launched our platform and people were designing their own ads and things, they got comfortable and they felt like these tools are easy to use. We would like to be designing book covers. So we brought you, instead of just custom creator, we also bring you cover creator. So this is exactly what she said. You can mock up and design your own cover. So I've mentioned the free plan a couple of times, and I'll just circle back. There was a question in the chat. On the free plan, you can create and download 15 images for free in that tool we were just in. in the custom creator, and you have pretty much full access to all those different templates, community templates and book templates and all that. So that's a really great start for folks. If you are having a blast and you need more images, then you could upgrade to a paid plan. And April said I can do a coupon at the end. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
So Cover Creator is if you want to design your own book covers. You can do ebook, print, or audio. And with print, you will choose your print type so we can help you. You can do paperback or hardcover. And then once you choose like paperback, for example, you'll put in your trim size. So let's say you are doing 5 1/4 by 8. You choose your paper type. And this is important. The thickness is different. So in order to have the perfectly sized book for 5 1/4 by 8 cream paper with a page count of, let's see, how much did you write? Let's say your book was 310 pages. Now you've got this perfect template. So our formatting magic in the background is coordinated. So this is the size you need when you have 5 1/4 by 8 with 310 pages of cream in a paperback. And then you can design this using the tools on the left. You can choose background, text, and we have other things, images and elements to add things to it. So if you want to design from scratch, you sure can, but we also have a lot of nice templates for you. So we will click on the left for templates. And I highly recommend these, not that you can't start from scratch, but the nice part here is a graphic designer put these together so you can think about what goes where for your genre and not just staring at this blank rectangle. Filter on the left by type if you want to, and genre. So, and if you want multiple, so let's say you want mystery, thriller, and crime, you can choose all of those. I'll scroll a little bit because it's kind of fun. Some eye candy.
It's great for inspiration for sure.
It is. And so let's say we choose this one that was Lost Girl. What you're looking at here is something that anybody using BookBrush can use. So it's important to make sure you personalize this as much as possible. Of course, you're going to put your title and your information and your things. But once you click author name, and you're going to just change this however you want, you're going to put in this, but change a lot of things. Go into the background and maybe yours is a forest instead. So you can try that. Let's find a forest here. So we'll click in the background, make it larger. And I like to throw in just some different little editing tips. One thing that's kind of cool with a background is you can add a color behind and then add a little transparency.
Oh, wow. How cool.
So check this out. As you click through these colors, it can be a little bit more mysterious or creepy or cozy or, different themes. And so it's not going to look like anybody else's because you found the image. Those all sourced from Pixabay. Those are free for commercial use. They have, I think, what are they, up to 3 million images? So you should be good. But then try other things, like you could blur it a little bit. And that's a subtle difference, but it kind of helps your title pop. And then you can still pick through these different colors and things just to have it exactly how you want it, and then change different colors. Let's talk about the text here. There's also a text shadow. So keep your eyes on Lost Girl for now. And as I move this, it's a slider.
That's so easy.
It is, and it gives you some definition. Now, let's say you're writing more of fantasy. You could do some crazy purple, and have the purple behind, and that really is going to give it, anyone can use purple. You don't have to write fantasy.
So
but
often I see covers and then the title just gets lost. And it's like, we need to help make it pop. So these are great ways of doing that. That's awesome.
I've got one more. Well, I have lots of tricks up my sleeve, but one more thing to that end. In these elements here on the left, we have things like shapes and blobs, and these are also a really nice option. So I'm going to talk about blobs because blobs get a bad rap because they sound ugly and they're really very cool. So we'll take a blob here, and I'm going to do a couple things. So we'll make it larger. We will color pick. So we'll pick kind of one of these backgroundy meh colors. I'm going to put it in here, use these arrows to send it in front and behind, and it's going to move one element at a time. So we have lots of things on this cover. So it's going to take a couple clicks and then blur it a whole bunch. So it's like it's there, but it's not really. And you could also add some transparency. So using those elements, color picked and, resized to your advantage can add a lot to the cover too.
I love that.
Me too. You could also have them come from the whole bottom, and have it fade. Like I see it in romance, there'll be like a pink coming up or something like that. Just make your element over here, super big, or you use an actual shape like this and then have it go off the page and come up. So it's do it yourself, but there's a ton of great things that you can do for a cover that you would be proud to have.
Leslie asks, the example you gave with the airplane going across the top of the page, does each arrow to the right download count as one towards the 15?
It would. So if you want something like that, you have a lot of chapters, you would probably benefit from a paid plan, because then you have unlimited downloads. In that case, it wouldn't download until you actually download. So you can arrow back and forth lots of times to pick your placement and then download. So good question.
Tara is a member of my team who does a lot of great book mock-ups and is helping people with covers. And she was asking if we could take a look at some of the children's book mock-ups and things that we have.
Of course. So let's do that here, and we could go back and look at the templates for advertising. So I'm going to click children's and young adult, just because those could go, different ways. And keep in mind, if you see something that's print and you only need an ebook, that's okay. You can change it in the workspace like we did when we went from horizontal to square. So we'll scroll through here. You won't find custom illustrations, but there are some that are definitely more childlike and things like that. These two categories have a total of 184. And part of it is just an idea for placement in the workspace, and then you want to personalize as much as possible. Also, there's the option to upload your own images. So if you bought a cute whimsical camper, whatever it is you purchased, you can bring that in and use that for your design as well. It'd be fun to use them in marketing graphics too, because then you have that repetition and recognition of those characters. So I came into the community templates, and then instead of filtering in the platform section, which we did earlier, I went into genre. And so I chose children's and young adult. So you're getting a whole hodgepodge of different uses. So you'll see all these different things in here. And these are nice because you can edit a couple things on this one. So you can just swap, and you could delete that one. You could go into book template and go into children's and choose anything in here. Now, when you're resizing, and this is most applicable to children's authors, so this is a perfect time. If you want to resize and you use the slider here on the left, it's going to stay in proportion. However, if you just drag like this, it won't maintain the aspect ratio. It will go out of proportion. Typically, for your other types of paperback books, you may not want that. Children's books, it's perfect, because I know when my boys have a stack of books, they are all sorts of sizes. So once your cover's in there, you could just tweak it so it really does reflect the way that you want it to. Whichever feels more comfortable to you, you can resize either with the slider in the top stripe. If you double click, you will find the slider on the left, or because I'm more of a mouse person, I like to hold the shift key on my keyboard and go like this. If that's to maintain the aspect ratio. If you want to do the opposite and adjust, you're going to just do the side or this, or if you don't hold the shift key, you're in loosey-goosey area here. So to that end, there's an undo button here in the upper left corner. So even if you unwittingly have resized it to something that you're like, so just undo and you can get back to where you were. It also does undo several times. So I'm keeping undoing. So that can be nice if you get into uncharted territory. And then for font, so I'm going to click on this Publishers Weekly so that we're in the text area. With the font here, you can click the drop down, and we have a lot of nice default fonts in here. However, hidden gem alert at the top for add more fonts. We have another 1,000 fonts that are all Google fonts free for commercial use. And you can filter here, like if you're looking for handwritten, fun, childlike ones, and you can also flip your sort by name so they're in alphabetical order. You could use any of these and just click. If it puts a check mark next to it, it will add it to your list. That's available on all free and paid plans. As an extra perk for paid folks, you can upload your custom font here on the right-hand side. So if you purchased a font that you're using in your book cover and you want to use it in graphics, or maybe you purchased it specifically for a book cover, you can upload that and then it will be in there for you to use over and over again. So when I'm in the font area, if you haven't saved, because I saved a lot because that's fun for me, but when you go in for default, you'll see you can scroll through, and I like they're shown here in the way they're going to look on your screen. So that kind of helps you. So there's, I'm not sure how many that would be. Maybe there's 30 to begin with. Then there's the 1,000, but then you can upload all of your own if you want to. So that really, if with the paid plan, makes it unlimited. We don't focus a lot on interior. However, you can use the tools however you want. So here in the cover creator, you could go to print and choose this double, and we'll just put in something here. And so now you've got a two-sided thing, or actually you could choose a trim size that's way more the other direction. So children's size, and that would, let's go with like a 40 page. And what they're warning me is Amazon doesn't let you put anything on the spine if it's less than 100 pages. So it's telling you don't put anything on the spine. But what you could do in here is mock this up. Our system is anticipating you're making the outside, but there's really no reason that you can't be doing this as the inside. So that would probably work fine. A special note about this barcode box, it is here as a placeholder so that you don't put something there that would get covered up. It is not there when you save your work or when you download. So I'll save it just so you can see. So if you go over to my projects, if you can kind of see it over here on the left, there is no rectangle. So that may work. We haven't focused much on the interior, but that doesn't mean that this tool might not work for you to do that. If you're because you can add text boxes, you can go to images and you can upload your own thing. So that's how I'd probably go about that. So you can always go to home and navigate. You can also go to tools and go back and forth. So I'm going to go back into custom creator and we'll talk about some of the things that you can do in here. Our probably top fun feature are in community templates. And if you go into collections, there's animated mockups and vertical videos. People go crazy for these because they combine animation, video background effects, music in your book, all in one handy meme. So you can look super cool on social media. The verticals are preferred for places like Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and Stories, primarily because people are looking on their phone and they do not turn their head like this. They're looking vertically. So you're making the most of your real estate here. So I'm going to just click on one and I'll push play. So this is called an animated mockup or a vertical video. This is going to download as an MP4 because it's got the video and animation and music, but you could take this book out. So I'm going to click on the book and I can see in the editing tools on the left, it has an animation of fade in. So for you guys, you could, because I know we have a lot of children's authors, you could take that one out and go to book template and choose something under the children's section. And we're just going to pretend that this fits here, but it'll be squished. But once you put that in, you can give it its own animation over here, add animation, and we can have it fade in, and you can adjust the time and duration, but then that looks more, you can't change the music, but you could pick a more childlike font and maybe that type of music still suits you. So that would work. There's a lot of cool things in there. Let's go back in here. So under the vertical videos and things like that. All of that can be done by Scratch in here too. So you can start with a blank slate other than the music. These are the only ones here in the custom creator that have music. But like, here's something, this could work for pretty much anything. Obviously at Christmas, but I mean, any kind of book, I could see a children's book in that and it'd be adorable. So those kinds of things, each element has its own animation. If you're thinking about doing these from scratch, just be mindful that if you animate every single thing and you thought, whiz bang, this is so cool, I put everything in, You could also potentially just give your viewers a seizure. I mean, think about like pick the things that you want to animate and maybe have something else be static so that it's not overstimulating when you get in there. So those are some of the animated things in there. Another thing that's animated are the animated email signatures. So we can talk about these for just a second.
Well, that's
There's no
cool.
sound on this, but I'm not really spilling the beans on this. You know this already. Authors email readers to sell books. Like you guys know that. So if you can make your email stand out a little bit and have something cool, that could be really neat. So you would just edit these like we did the other templates. So you would come in here and put in your information. Typing so hard when everybody's watching, but you can change that. Pick your branded font, pick a different color pick it. In the books, you can swap covers, or you can add more books or take those out. The only other thing to talk about here is this is not a picture of me or of you. And so what you can do is in the images section here, in the My Images tab, you can bring in your own. So I have this sample picture of me where it actually shows the wall behind me. We have a tool called background removal. So if I click these three little dots and click remove background, it's going to use artificial intelligence to peel the background away. And it works on a person, an animal, a product, or a vehicle. And I'm in here a lot because I've done this several times, but that way you can be part of these. So we can take him out and I can be part of the email signature. And it's nice because you can click on filters and you can lighten it up. My husband took the picture. He's no photographer. So that way, it's kind of forgiving. And add those in. With the background removal, you can purchase it on all of the paid plans. With our top plan, you get 10 credits per month and those accumulate. So you don't have to rush around at the end of the month and remove 10 backgrounds. So let me go to home real quick. I'll talk about the pricing for just a second and then we'll do book trailers too. So on the top stripe is our pricing tab. So after the 15 images for free, or if you want more access, we have 3 different tiers. They're called Plus, Gold, and Platinum. They're all paid yearly. We do break down the price monthly just so you can see it's not out of this world, but you'll make one annual payment. The Plus plan starts at $99 a year. With that one, you have the custom creators, the ability to do all those images with the community templates and things, and then also the cover. And then Gold adds instant mockups, which are like the flat lays and things, and I can show you those. And then Platinum includes 10 background removal credits per month, but you can buy them on any paid plan. So if you just want them and you have a paid plan, it's 50 credits for $40. And that's a lot of background removal because once you remove the background, you can use that image over and over. So you don't have to, like, once I have myself in there, I don't have to use a credit each time. I can just add myself to images. So on your account page, mine doesn't show up because I have an admin plan, but it's 50 credits for $40 and those don't expire either. So then you would stockpile those and you can use those. And if you ever use it and it doesn't work quite right, because it's artificial intelligence, right? It's not perfect. Every once in a while, like I tried one where it was more of those dark brown tones in an older image and it didn't work perfect. So we can always replenish your credit. If you try one and it didn't pan out, just send us a note to our help desk. I'll put that in there. It's support@bookbrush.com.
And you mentioned that there's a coupon. I think it's SPMS 15, right? SPMS
Yes.
is self-publishing made simple.
And I'll pull it up that way in case anybody needs to leave. So
Okay.
when you're in your custom creator and you have your projects on the left, there are folders at the top to help you keep organized. And I also hid your coupon code in there. So that worked out great. So now I can unveil it. So it's SPMS 15. And that's a 15% lifetime discount on any new paid plan or any upgrade. So for example, if you want to start with the Plus or the Gold, and then down the road, you want to step up, you can use that code again. And it'll just figure out, like, let's say you've already used 5 months, it'll just figure out how much more 7 months would be. And what I mean by lifetime discount is you'll get the 15% off whenever you use it the first time. And then each year your renewal, you will lock that in. So you get to enjoy that discount year after year if you keep using BookBrush. So I think we'll talk about book trailers real quick because those are pretty fun. So we're going to go to tools and we'll go into trailer creator. So this is on the top plan and this is where you can actually do book trailers. And so if you thought, oh, I could not, I'm here to tell you, I think you can. So In most of the tools, we've really enjoyed the community templates, and I recommend those in here too. So we'll go to community templates here, and I'm going to click on one. In the top stripe, you can toggle between easy and advanced. Go to easy mode. Easy mode is my favorite. So before we do any editing, I'm going to just play this. There's a play button in the lower left, and I'll show you what we're working with here. So we'll pause there. You get the idea. There's a few more seconds left, but what you have here for a book trailer are 4 different background images and videos, and then text boxes. So you can just personalize those. You would just click here at the bottom for get started. If you look at the bottom with trailer elements, there are all these little circles across here. Each one of these, you'll just take them step by step to personalize. So the first thing is the music. This is the one place in BookBrush where you can pick your own music and even upload your own. So we have over 100 types of commercial free, and they're organized by bright, emotional, epic, romantic, dark. And then in My Music, you can upload your own, but also keep this in mind. It is an audio file. So if you want to just record yourself talking to your audience, you could do that and bring it in. So don't limit yourself to just music. You can always think outside of the box there. Say we're sold. We want the happy song. You would just click the plus button, and you get this confirmation that it's replaced. And then you're going to keep working your way across. So in the lower right, we'll click next. And now you're on the videos. So here on the left, there are 4 tabs. 2 have a little video camera, and you can either search the videos on Pixabay or upload your own. Also, this is the only place in BookBrush where you can bring in your own video. And then you can also search for images. So let's see how we can do with it. Let's try a playground here. I want this to be maybe childlike. We'll see. So we'll put in this first one here and then click next. Now we're on text. And so I felt like that Annie Use Your Telescope had kind of a kid vibe. So we'll add that one. You as the author will be putting in your passage. In the interest of time, I'm just going to leave it simple. Your passage here. Click next. And we'll add a different playground one here. Click next. And you just work your way across. So we're updating the text. Next. Now, the first 2 we did video. I'm going to actually switch over to the images side of things. These are going to have like a background animation. So I'm going to try beach ball and see. I'm in Illinois and it's super not beachy. So we'll see what we get here. Add that one in. Next. We'll change that. So I'm coordinating the font so it's the same in each one. I kind of like that. And we'll put in this volleyball image. And then I'll just put in a different book. You could actually change it so it was a children's size or adjust it. Actually, that person playing volleyball looks a little older than I thought, but we'll go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll take it from the top and see what we just created here. Pausing for a second, you're in control of where these are. So if the video that you selected seems like the text would look better elsewhere, just move it around. So you can do that if you want to. So those first 2 are videos. This is a static image that just has a motion. It's called the Ken Burns effect. He's like famous, but it can go to the side like that. And that's that. And then you can download or make changes. So when you use the template, you start from one thing, but because you're picking the images and the music and all the things, you can really personalize that. So that would be a book trailer. So we did go to easy mode and it's my favorite, but I want to convince you why you'll love it. In the top stripe, it says easy. When you click to advanced, I'm going to pull up this whole timeline is set here for you. And that's what's so wonderful is each of these you can hide. And then this passage is going to zoom in The next one's job is to hide longer. And so you can do some editing in here if you want to change so it zooms in faster or takes longer to zoom in, or you could coordinate so they all zoom in left if you like that kind of thing. And you could add different books if you want a book in each section. So do editing if you want to, but then just toggle right back to easy mode where I feel like it's not overwhelming at all. Nice and simple. All right, so we will go back to home here. And when I go to the left to the webinars, I'm just going to put this page in here. So this one will give you the link to watch any of these recordings. So there is a book trailer one up here. So if you want to watch that to get more details, you can if you're debating about a plan. And then right down here is the Book Brush 101, and that's coming up next Thursday, and you can just click register. If you don't want to wait, I usually link the previous month down here and you can watch that one, or you can do both, but it's free. You can register and either join live, or I also send out a link to the recording when we're all done, or do both.
Wow, this has been so much. I am overwhelmed by everything that the tool can do. So I thank you so much for coming out and sharing this with us, and encourage those of you who are interested, try it on the free plan and see what you can get done. And if you love it, then maybe consider going to some of the training or upgrading to a paid plan.
Thanks
Bye,
so much for
everybody.
having me. Yep, take care.
Take care.